R. Marcos Jr. directed the Department of Energy and other concerned agencies to expedite the implementation of action plans and strategies to develop the electric vehicle industry with particular focus on the public transportation sector. President Marcos has instructed the concerned agencies to work together to study the integration of the EV industry so that we can strengthen the local manufacturing of electric vehicles and the supporting battery charging mechanisms. This is, of course, in order to encourage the electrification of the public transportation sector. President Marcos also directed the sector to focus on supporting the acquisition of electric vehicles by commercial fleets like government or private company cars and public transportation fleets. Because by focusing on the fleets, it will make battery charging and the maintenance simpler and more efficient. And in order to support the adoption of the EVs, President Marcos also ordered the consolidation of financing schemes to make it easier for EV fleets to be acquired. And joining us today is Department of Energy Undersecretary Felix William Fuentebella. Good afternoon, Undersecretary Fuentebella.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone.
Go ahead.
So, I just attended the meeting with the President where it was presented by not only the Department of Energy but also the Department of Transportation, the DTI, and the DOST, focusing on what is the latest on the comprehensive roadmap for the electric vehicle industry. So we told him that as of 2023, we only have 0.001% or 7,000 electric vehicles registered out of the 14,300,000 na figure of registered vehicles. So malayo pa tayo. But under the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act, these agencies with the Department of Energy should push for the promotion of electric vehicles. And we are not only looking into the technology, but the President also wants us to focus on achieving the numbers by looking at fleet or the group approach, looking at the consumer experience and identifying yung mga bumubukol na financing. Because for electric vehicles, halimbawa ako ay isang public utility vehicle o namamasahe, no? Ang unang gagastusin ay yung malaking upfront cost ng electric vehicle. And later on, as I use it because it has a lower maintenance cost at mas malayo yung tinatakbo niya compared sa internal combustion engine vehicles, whether diesel or gasolina, ito ay mas mababa yung maintenance at mas mababa rin yung cost ng pag-operate. But ang tinitingnan niya is yung experience ng consumer na after 8 years, kailangan palitan yung battery. So, nandoon yung mga concerns na pinapatutukan ni Presidente sa amin. And not only the fleet, not only the financing, but it's also the infrastructure kung saan ilalagay yung mga electric vehicle charging stations. So, that being the case, we also informed the President that it's the CREVI, the Comprehensive Roadmap for Electric Vehicle Industry, does not only look into the demand, supply, and the infrastructure, pero sinasabayan din po ito ng manufacturing and development component where we have to position the Philippines in the production of the electric vehicles and its other components. Nandun din yung research and development and nandun din yung human resource development kung saan yung workers natin will have to have a skills mapping and the right skilling of workers right now and yung workers in the future. So, nandun yung 4 pillars, the electric vehicle demand generation, the manufacturing side of it, the research and development utilizing our natural resources, and the human resource development. So, with this, we want to achieve a higher number of, instead of having a 10% target by 2040 for the penetration of electric vehicles, we have to go forward and look into a 50% target. So nandoon yung pagsisynchronize, pag-harmonize ng iba't ibang policy, not only for the DOSC, DOTR, and the DTI, but also for the DOE kasi tinitingnan din ng Department of Energy yung greenhouse gas emissions reduction na pwedeng mabenepisyohan dito. So it's government to look at it, but for the side ng consumers, especially yung titingnan natin mga public utility vehicles operators, ang concerns talaga nila saan magpapacharge, ano yung upfront cost, ano yung maintenance cost, ano yung kikitain, and ano yung titingnan 7 to 8 years from now na papalitan yung ng battery. So yun yung pinapatutukan because we have to be strategic and we have to be responsive to make this a success.
Thank you, Undersecretary Fuentebella. Given that today, this is actually timely because given today being the deadline of the PUV modernization, how are these strategies going to address the concerns? And how it's going to address the, like you said, we have a target and we want to encourage not only public utility vehicles, but company fleets also to invest in EV.
It's more of giving our consumers more options, whether utility vehicles, private owners, and the group company fleets and even government fleet. We have to have this option, but looking into the benefits, malaki yung benepisyo sa atin. Like not only in the development of our local manufacturing, but also yung utilization ng ating natural resources for the battery generation and production, but also looking into yung workers natin, considering that our population is really geared towards supporting all these transitions going on. So, mahalaga siya, lalong-lalo na kung nagkakaroon ng modernization, whether you will still pursue the ICE or the internal combustion engine, which is a more complicated technology than the simpler one of electric vehicle, which has lower maintenance cost, mas malayo yung tinatakbo sa input na pera na nilagay natin. But we just have to address the worries kung magkakaroon ng transition. Yun yung upfront cost, yun yung saan ba pwedeng magpa-charge, yun yung ano pa ba yung mga pwedeng pag-ipunan o paggastusan, at kung may financing bang available for that.
Thank you. And questions from Malacañang Press Corps? Okay, Harley Valbuena, DZME. Jonel, Mike.
Hello, good afternoon po. Usec, may we have an idea kung magkano yung average price ng per unit ng basic vehicle? And then pati na rin po yung price ng or yung cost ng pagpapalit ng battery every 7 to 8 years.
So, kukodigo ako kasi medyo mahirap yung figures. But I could send to you kasi marami tayong tinitingnan, not only the four wheels, but also the tricycle and the motorcycle. So, so yung electric vehicles have 65% lower operating cost than the traditional conventional vehicles, PUVs. So, we estimate na magkakaroon tayo ng 2.4 million savings over a 15-year period using electric vehicles for public transportation. Ito, figures na to pina-recheck ni Secretary Go kasi gusto niya makita in net present value. So, but nonetheless, nandun yun sa range na yun. And then the electric vehicles require an upfront cost ranging from, ito na yung iba-iba, 20% to 50% than the conventional vehicles. We also have to address the hidden cost of the electric vehicle ownership, especially the battery replacement, which costs at most 50% of the upfront cost ng battery. So the battery exchange is estimated to be 5 to 8 years, depende sa bawat manufacturer and depende sa gamit. Saan naman yung savings? Sa average estimated fuel economy, ang tinitingnan na figures ng interagency is sa ICE, internal combustion engine vehicle, gasoline. It's 14 kilometers per liter. Sa diesel, it's 5 kilometers per liter. Pagdating naman sa hybrid electric vehicle, it's 20 kilometers per liter. Dito, kinesyon ako ni Presidente. Kasi sa battery electric vehicle, naging 6 kilometers per kilowatt hour. So sabi niya, I want apples to apples comparison. So sabi namin, tingnan natin sa equivalent estimate pesos per kilometer. So lumalabas na 5 pesos sa gasoline. That's the estimate pesos per kilometer. 11 pesos sa diesel. Pag hybrid or plug-in hybrid, it's 350. And pag battery electric vehicle, it's 1 peso and 71 centavos. So, ito naka-anchor doon sa average AC charging or the fast charging of 10.26 per kilowatt hour. So, yun yung comparison natin. Sa pagdating naman sa internal combustion engine motorcycle and tricycle, yung average fuel economy is at 58.23 kilometers per liter. Pero pagdating dito sa electric motorcycle or electric tricycle, it's at 30.59 kilometers per kilowatt hour. So, andun na naman yung question ni Presidente, apples to apples. So, sabi ko, punta po tayo sa pesos. Equivalent to estimate pesos per kilometer is sa ICE, internal combustion engine motorcycle tricycle, it's 1 peso 20 centavos. Pagdating sa electric motorcycle or tricycle, it's at 34 centavos. So, nandoon yung diferensya. So, when we transition, sabi nga natin, upfront cost, malaki, 20 to 50% more expensive. Pag pinatakbo, sobrang baba, and then tingnan na naman natin yung cost doon sa battery, pagpalit ng battery after 5 to 8 years.
So sir, we can say na in the long run, mas makakasave at mas makakatipid tayo using the e-vehicles kahit po mas malaki yung upfront cost niya.
That's true.
Okay.
Ang cost ng pagbabago, yun yung kailangan nating address. Saan magpapacharge, saan magpa-financing. Siyempre, yung inisip naman ng government, lalo na ng Department of Health, mas malinis na hangin, DNR din. So health and the kalikasan aspects.
Okay. John L. Marie Bohoc, UNTV.
Sir, given yung push sa e-vehicle sa public transportation and also dun sa consumers, natalakay din po ba yung possibility na i-phase out na rin yung mga lumang sasakyan ng mga private vehicle?
Hindi
Ano ba
natakal.
tingin?
Hindi namin pinag-usapan. Kasi mas Department of Energy yung sector ko. Ang tinitingnan namin is ano yung fuel na paano tayo makaalis sa 100% na importation ng petroleum products. And a portion will be electric vehicles na mas malaki, and then sinasabayan ng renewable energy. So kung ano yung sa option sa mga transition on the phasing out or phasing down of certain technology sa transport sector, hindi ko po siya kabisado.
Pero sir, kung hihingin yung recommendation ng DOE about dun sa pag-phase out ng mga private vehicles.
It's the Department of Energy is of the position that we give options to consumers. So it's more of empowering consumers and making the right choice. At the end of the day, kung madaming masyadong sasakyan, sisikip din naman yung kalye. So ang magiging diskarte is ano yung pinoprovide ng DOE na options for consumers in facing that scenario.
Okay. Alan Francisco, PTV4.
Hi ma'am, hi sir. You mentioned sir na it's giving the consumers an option. So how would it benefit the consumers? Anong advantage nitong e-vehicle sir?
So ang advantage niya, yun nga, mas mura siya, mas malayong tinatakbo, mas konti ang ginagastos natin. Lower rin ang maintenance cost. So ang other benefits na nakikita natin is yung mas malinis na hangin, tulad nung tinatanong ng iba, ano bang ginagawa natin to address these climate issues that we are facing, which is right now. So these are one of the steps na pwedeng makakontribute tayo. So pag nagtatanong yung iba, ano yung magiging ambag natin, ito yung pwedeng maging ambag at may benepisyo tayo. It's just that we have a higher upfront cost, and ito pa yung sinasabi ni Presidente, ano pa yung pwedeng bumukol na cost para mapatupad natin yung transition. So, in pushing for the change, kailangan i-address yung group concerns or having a fleet approach. And the second one na in-emphasize niya is yung infrastructure, saan magpapacharge. So may requirement dyan na sa bawat malls and the other condos are required to put them up. But there's also that concern of AC charging and then DC charging. Kasi pag yung isa, pag normal charging, mas mura siya, pero nandun kang magcha-charge ng 4, 5, 6 hours. Yung mas mabilis sa charging, pwedeng less than 1 hour. Yung battery swapping, sobrang bilis, kaya lang mas mahal. So nandoon yung mga ini-introduce natin. But, ang tinitingnan natin is not only for consumers' demand-side development, but also, kaya ba ng Pilipinas na mag-produce ng locally manufactured electric vehicles? And we see these electric vehicles as a simpler technology na pwede or kayang-kaya natin gawin. So, sinasabay natin yon. Sinasabayan din ng DOST ng Research and Development na sumusunod sa standards ng DTI. So, tinitingnan din natin kung paano i-combine lahat yan, ano yung skills na kailangan para yung DOLE, Department of Labor, nandoon din yung right skilling ng mga tao ng automotive industry right now and yung magiging skills na kailangan for the future when we position the Philippines to be a local manufacturer of electric vehicles. So nandoon yung komprehensibong approach na the 4 major components under the comprehensive roadmap of the electric vehicle. And the President also wants to look into government, looking into purchasing electric vehicles for its fleet, and at the same time, yung mga charging stations na kasama dito.
Okay. Raquel Bayan, Radyo Pilipinas.
Good afternoon, sir. You mentioned po kanina isa dun sa mga concern na tinitingnan natin is yung charging stations or battery stations. And then kakasabi nyo lang din po yung pagka-operation with the malls po. Opo, paano po yung kamusta po yung ginagawa nating cooperation with private sectors and stakeholders po on this?
So, kasama yon sa ginagawa ng interagency. We talk to the private corporations, what is mandatory, and then what is voluntary for them to look into. So, sa government, pag sinabing bumili tayo ng X%, like for example, 10% ng fleet should be electric vehicles, we have to just back it up with financing and we have to comply. But for the private sector under the Electric Vehicles Industry Development Act, there are things na dapat sundin ng mga condos, malls that they should put up a certain number of units for charging stations. But also, tinitingnan din natin, ini-encourage yung government-owned and controlled corporations that have strategic points kung paano mag-put up ng charging stations para ma-push nga. No? Kasi nagiging chicken and egg situation, bibili ng electric vehicle pero walang charging station. But there's also this middle ground, no? The hybrid electric vehicle and the plug-in hybrids na ang pagtakbo natin is ginagamit pa rin gasolina but may portion doon na nagpapatakbo is electric. So may impact pa rin yon sa costing na natitipid ng isang owner ng electric vehicle ng hybrid at saka plug-in hybrid. So nandun yung options na yon, but we're also looking at a number of strategies or incentives. No? First incentive is we have the reduction of the or suspension of the import tariff. So, meron diyang most favored nation tariff na 0% na binigay natin sa 4-wheel electric vehicles that are battery, e-scooters, and e-bikes. So, pinag-aaralan ngayon kung pwede pa ba siyang i-expand to include the hybrid electric vehicle, for example. The other one is the excise tax for the battery electric vehicle. It's 0%, and then it's 50% sa sa hybrid electric vehicle under the train law. Meron pa tayong motor vehicle users charge discount of 30% for battery electric vehicle and 15% for the hybrid electric vehicle for 8 years. Meron tayong priority registration sa LTO and priority processing of franchise to operate sa LTFRB. Meron tayong electric vehicle exempted from the Vehicle Volume Reduction Scheme or the number coding scheme. Kaya pag hinuli tayo ng MMDA, number coding, pag nakitang electric vehicle, walang offense. Exempted. Tapos, hindi. Tapos, sa local government units identifying green lanes, nakalagay yun sa Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act. So, yung pag-identify ng bike lane, sabayan natin ng pag-identify ng electric vehicle lane, yun yung tinatawag nating green routes. So, that's important. But what is more techy or sexy for the younger generation is we're developing this app for the electric vehicles. So, it's a combination of ways and na-identify natin. If you want yourself to be seen by other users, there's that option na makita ka. Pero ang maganda doon, pwede ka magpa-reserva kung saan ka mag-charge, kung ano ang oras ka darating. So, I can plot myself going, for example, to what's your province? For example, La Union, ito yung charge ko, full charge, pupunta ako doon, ano yung mga charging stations, pwede kong i-reserve. Darating ako doon ng 3 hours, reserve ako sa isang charging point, tapos pwede akong kumain doon, tapos pwedeng andar ulit. So, yung community na yan na dinedevelop namin online with the assistance of our development partners is also another non-fiscal incentive. So, kino-combine natin itong mga to because it's just a matter of us looking into the benefits kung bakit tayo aalis or veer away from the ICE and go towards the electric vehicles. So, for us, government, we're looking at the GHG emissions reduction, pero malamang sa consumers talaga ang tinitingnan or sa operators is yung cost. So, nandun din yung pagpapaliwanag sa cost. Kasi marami siyang factors. Yung, alam nyo ba yung pagmamaneho na parang koneho? Yung silinyador, preno, grabe ng ng gasolina ang ginagamit. Ganun din sa charging mo. Okay? So, that part should be corrected for efficiency, but the jump from one technology to another and the benefits should be properly explained, and that's what we are trying to do.
Wow.
Sir, second lang po. I don't know if you can answer this, sir, pero last visit po ni Pangulo Marcos sa Vietnam, nakakuha po siya ng commitment sa Vin Group Company regarding po ito sa investment ng electric vehicle battery production. Baka may update na po.
Yes, may update na binigay si DTI Secretary. Hindi ko lang siya na-capture kasi tinutukan ko yung utos sa DOE. Sige, tanong lang natin sa DTI. Meron narinig ko yun eh. Sabi nga ni Presidente, yes, that's what I was trying to refer to, pero dun lang yung may limitasyon yung DOE.
Okay. Let's go to Tuesday New, DZBB. Mike, Alan. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Sir, sabi niyo kanina, mas malaki ang upfront cost dito sa
Yes.
EVs. Pag ako ang operator or driver na bibili, sir, interesado ako malaman magkano yung upfront cost.
Oo. Nandun siya sa binanggit ko kanina na 20% to 50%.
Yung
na
equivalent
upfront cost.
value, sir, para peso value.
Sige,
Para
compute tayo. Para tayo nasa UP, nagko-compute ba tayo nun? Anyway, so halimbawa ang cost is 2 million, no? So ang nakikita nating upfront cost is 20% ng 2 million is 400,000. So magiging 2.4. Pero pwede siya maging 50% more. So, 2 million magiging 3 million. So, yun din yung range.
So, 3 million.
Kaya nga meron tayong strategy na mga fiscal incentives, yung mga importaris, mas mababa. Yan yung mga strategy.
Kasi
para-
yun yung isa sa magiging concerns, sir, ng mga operator. Dahil
Yes.
ito ngang sa consolidation nila para makabili ng mga bagong ano po ngayon, transport o modern jeepney, namamahalan na po sila sa magkano nga ba ngayon? 2 million. So, mas malaki pala ito by 3
mas
million.
malaki sa upfront, mas maliit at mas maraming income pag inoperate.
So, doon yung kanilang titignan in long term.
Tapos, sabi natin, hindi naman forever yon. Kaya kailangan bang palitan yung battery? Tinignan din natin yon. So, 5 to 8 years kailangan. So, we have to have financing for both. Kasi may benepisyo siya sa pag-operate. Kaya lang may upfront cost siyang ganitong amount and may cost siya na hidden cost. Pero nandun siya. Mas mababa rin kasi yung maintenance cost ng electric vehicle. Kasi mas simple siyang teknolohiya.
So, kailangan, sir, ng convincing power po ninyo para yung ating mga
At ninyo.
para yung
Yes.
mga operators and drivers mahimok na
Yes.
mag-convert na sa
At
e-vehicles.
the end of the day, ang dapat decision making natin is what will the numbers tell us and what will the science tell us. And from there, we can jump off and make our calculations, which is on the side of business. Kung ilang oras ko siyang ginagamit, ano yung ginagastos ko ngayon, ano yung pwede kong ma-save habang ino-operate, ilang oras dapat akong kakayod. So, nandoon siya. Tapos tingnan natin na 5 to 8 years, ano ba yung baterya, I have to save for it also. So, at the same time, ang sinasabi nating hidden benefits, kung may mga hidden costs, is mas malinis yung lungs ng driver.
Right. Another one, sir. Sabi niyo kanina medyo mahaba-haba pa yung bubunuin po ninyo dahil kukonti pa lang yung e-vehicles natin. How soon or how long na aantayin ng public na makasakay na sila sa ganitong uri ng transportation, considering na last day din po ngayon ng consolidation at pinupush na po yung transport modernization?
Depende rin talaga sa appetite ng publiko. So, ang ginagawa ng pamahalaan is concentrating on the fleet and the required, for example, sa government vehicles, nandun na dapat pumasok na yan. Tapos, nandun din yung gigil or excitement ng mas batang henerasyon. So, nandun yung gusto nila ng electric vehicle. Kaya lang sinasabi ko nga sa kanila, gusto mo ng electric vehicle but you're not energy efficient. Like you don't use the air conditioner properly or you don't, you leave the TV open. So, nandun yung entire discipline. But if we really want to contribute to all these and these transitions, nandiyan yung options na binibigay natin. And pag nakita na kasi natin na may isang kooperatiba na na-convince natin to go into fleet, and then we have a local company that's producing electric vehicles because it's a simple one, it's a simple technology, then we can position the Philippines. Ang problema kasi or advantage din sa Pilipinas is it really takes a lot of convincing kasi democracy tayo. So, nandiyan yung private sector na dapat sumakay at i-push din ito para makita natin na mas aggressive. Because if we don't do anything, the penetration rate that we are seeing is around 10% only. So, 10% meaning gagalaw at gagalaw siya. May mga kasama tayo sa pamilya, 1 out of 10 na bibili ng electric vehicle, 10%. Pero pag nagkaroon ng pag-uusap sa academe, sa private sector, sa government, pwede nating makitang 50% yan. So, 5 sa 10 sa ating pamilya ang pupunta sa electric vehicle. Considering that there are benefits not only for our health but also for sa cost as we have presented based on the numbers na ginawa ng ating technical team.
Okay. Let's go to Jean Mangaluz, Inquirer.net.
Hi, Usec. So, follow-up ko lang yung question ni Raquel about yung coordination with private sector. Ano yung reaction ng mga gas companies? Have you been speaking with them? Kasi essentially, there's a potential na half ng consumers nila mapupunta sa e-vehicles.
Okay naman yung gasoline stations because even before the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act was passed, the Department of Energy has already come up with a department circular encouraging them to look into the charging stations business. Because tama, sila nga yung pwedeng ma-affect. Pero sila din yung nasa posisyon na magkaroon na mismo ng transition.
May mga EID po ba kayo na ima-mandate for the
Anong
gas?
EID? Sorry?
Are you eyeing any
Eyeing,
mandates for the gas companies?
Encouraging.
Okay. Chona Yu, People's Journal.
Sir, how are you going to reconcile the government is pushing for e-vehicles, pero ngayon po yung sitwasyon natin, El Nino mataas ang demand, manipis ang supply ng kuryente.
We
Nasa-
computed yung requirement. No? Una-una, I think Usec Mario already mentioned that there's around 2,000 megawatts coming in for Luzon this year. It's just that it's a bit delayed. So, wala nga siyang 1% na by 2040, especially if we have a lot of the hybrid electric vehicles. So, we have this computed because this comprehensive roadmap on the electric vehicle industry is aligned with the Philippine Energy Plan that looks into the demand and supply outlook ng power. That's just one of it. And again, yung PEP naka-align sa Philippine Development Plan ni Pangulo. So nandun yung pagkakatahi ng mga planong yan.
Okay. Sam Medanilia, Business Mirror.
Good afternoon, Usec. Ay, sir, itatanong ko lang po kung nung naging result po nung recommendation ng SANEDA na include yung hybrid vehicles and electronic vehicles, electronic tricycles po dun sa Executive Number 12 po.
I think there will be a meeting to finalize the recommendation on Friday.
Tapos on another question, sir, yung na-mention nila na yung meron po tayong tariff reduction for e-vehicles, may proposal rin po ba to include subsidies para ma-encourage yung private sector or yung public sector bukod dun sa PUVs to adopt e-vehicles?
So we go to Executive Order number 12, series of 2023, which is what you mentioned. And then we also go into the excise tax under the train law, which is already given. And then we already have the motor vehicle users charge discount of 30% for BEV and 15% discount for HEV for 8 years. So yun na yung mga incentives na nakita. And then yung sinabi ko kanina na una ka sa pila, parang senior citizen sila, di ba? Una sa pila sa rehistro, sa LTO. Una sa rehistro sa operation ng LTFRB, kung papasok sa franchising or sa operations ng PUV. And nandun din yung number coding exemption, non-fiscal.
Bali, sir, yung meron po bang parang computation yung DOE kung magkano yung parang total number of incentives or mga savings na binibigay ng government para dun sa mag-a-adopt ng e-vehicles? Pag i-combine yung na-mention yung sa tariff reduction, yung sa subsidy, yung sa mga yung sa train law, meron po ba kayong total computation kung magkano? Kahit average.
Pwede namin i-compute, pero nakatuto kami doon sa ilan yung investments na kailangan tsaka employment na magagawa. Pero pwede rin naman. Pwedeng makompute. Tulad kanina, pinag-compute ninyo ako nila Ivan. Pwede naman. Pag given these factors like 2 million, what's 20%, 50%, so pwede naman i-compute.
Tapos sir, yung doon naman sa charging station, meron po bang ideal number of charging stations yung DOE para maging efficient yung pag-adapt ng mga tao ng e-vehicles? Tsaka
Yes.
sa ngayon po, ilan na po? Bukod dun sa
Okay.
ideal number. Tsaka ngayon.
So yung charging stations natin, nandun yun sa situationer. Sa una. Okay. So, yung EV charging stations natin, lakas yung salamin. Okay. We're targeting, sorry ha, hinahanap ko siya. I'll go back to you later. Pero, maliit kasi siya eh.
Should I go to the next question first?
Yeah, I'll go
Okay,
back.
let's,
Balikan kita.
Ivan,
Sam.
Ivan Mayrina, GMA7.
Usec, is there a way to bring down the cost further? You mentioned that this is a much simpler technology. Why then is it more expensive?
It's more expensive, I guess, because the economies of scale, yun yung isa. Tapos yung development ng parts, especially the battery, it's still evolving to the point na they're changing the raw material to make it more mas mura at mas madami siyang na-produce. Yung pag-position din ng kasama sa instructions ni Pangulo, yung paano yung DOST technology magkaroon ng local investor para magkaroon ng pati nga tinitingnan yung dating kaha ng mga bus. For example, tatargetin natin yung fleet ng mga bus natin. Sayang naman yung kaha. So, pwedeng parehong kaha pero papalitan yung makina. So, nandoon yung mga kasama sa instructions ni Pangulo for DOST, DTI, and looking for an investor to bring down the cost and at the same time have a profit for sustainability.
Along with this push for electric vehicles, ano ho ba, established na ba ang reliability ng electric vehicles?
Yes.
Kasi I think much
It's
of the
like-
hesitation, aside from the upfront cost, lies on
Parang-
the reliability. Baka naman
Sa
less than 5 years, sira na. Yung
sa
mga
salita ni Pangulo, para lang siyang 10th generation golf cart.
Okay. Harley Valbuena.
It's
Usec.
that's the charging station target, but I don't have the figures right now. Yeah.
Sir, are we seeing the heavy traffic as an obstacle to the e-vehicle industry? Let's say, for example, ang isang e-vehicle hindi nakarating sa charging station sa takdang oras dahil naipit sa traffic, tumire. So, how do we resolve that, sir?
Totoo. Hindi ko alam. Tutulungan tayo.
Are we discussing already about that?
Ang nilalagay natin is yung positioning ng charging stations that is strategic. Tapos sabi ko nga kanina, yung app na community na ginagawa natin. No? It's still being developed kasi nasa phase 2 yon, yung pwede kang mag-reserve. Ngayon, kung pwede kang humingi ng tulong, pwede ka ring mag-shout out. Kasi usually pag natiri ka naman, hindi lang naman dahil sa traffic, no? Pwede ring nagkaroon ng issue sa sasakyan mo or sa tires or part of the vehicle. So usually you really call for somebody to help you or to tow.
Okay.
So pareho lang siya sa diskarte sa ICE.
So, one more question from Alvin Baltasar, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, good afternoon po.
Yeah, sige lang. Hanapin ko lang yung
Yes
figures
po.
niya. Sige,
Opo.
kasi last ka na daw. Kinabahan tuloy ako.
Opo. Usec, may directive ba si Pangulo para sa mga government offices na yung mga service vehicle na ginagamit sa gobyerno, palitan na ng e-vehicle since initiative naman talaga ito ng government eh.
Yes, targeting 10% of the fleet should be electric vehicle. Meron siyang pinasang interagency na led by the Department of Energy and nandun din yung DBM para maayos yung procurement niya at paano mag-comply. So, when the President was looking into that, there was a thumbs up from DBM Secretary. Na it's already in place.
So timeline natin dito sir para sa mga government
Yun nga,
service.
kasi yung sa procurement timeline, no, ayokong makialam. I think every year kasi meron tayong procurement, no? So, I just have to check on that. Sorry, hindi ko lang naana yung timeline. Ayoko kasi magkamali ng bitawan ko.
We can provide you with the numbers in a little while.
Yeah.
But I think
Right now, it's below 100 yung EV charging points natin. I think it's around 73, but we should have reached around 100. So we're like 27 points short, but there are some that we were not able to count because they have not yet registered. So it's like malapit siya. But I'm basing it on my very unreliable memory. But it's kinda there. It's malapit siya.
okay. Well, thank you so much, Undersecretary Fuentebella, for briefing us on the very exciting developments and the President's support of the transition to electric vehicles. Maraming salamat, Malacañang Press Corps, at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Thank you.